There is lack of evidence how black holes look like, in which way they are born. Scientists and amateurs interested in the topic present the same level of knowledge about this phenomena. We know almost nothing about black holes. What can be done on the way of logical deduction. Imagination plays a very important role in this. To discuss the problem of black holes' origin, nature, and properties, I have to start from the origin of stars. It was already explained by scientists in details, but it seems to be incoherent explanation. Especially the idea of metallic hydrogen nucleuses must be implemented, and in the consequence, the different localization of the thermonuclear fusion must be introduced. Scientists insist that the fusion is located in cores of stars. I assume that in coronas of stars. This is big difference. My thesis allowed me to build new coherent model of the universe, which in a simple and elegant way explains topics concerning the origin and nature of chosen celestial bodies like stars, dwarfs, black holes, pulsars, quasars. If my concept would be true, it would be the most important achievement of contemporary astrophysics because step by step I built the new model of the universe. I believe that the results of the implementation of my thesis into practice would be tremendous. For example, the thermonuclear fusion can be ignited and controlled thanks to conditions proposed by me. The idea of thermonuclear fusion located in coronas of stars, the concept of metallic hydrogen nucleus inside stars, dwarfs, and gas planets, the theory of the supernova explosion make the explanation of all these issues possible and gives me opportunity to deal with the most popular but unfortunately false theories concerning this phenomena. For example, with the idea that light cannot escape from black holes, with the idea of holographic universe, the idea of special conditions inside so-called point of singularity, idea that time stops inside black holes, that black holes are space tunnels to other universes. All these theses are false. The shape of black holes similar to the shape of a spinning top. Finally, we approach the most spectacular part of the presentation, the explanation why and how the true shape of the black hole is similar to the spinning top. All literary works, all scientific descriptions, and all media reports, information regarding black holes, even science fiction works, always referred to the spherical shape of the black hole as the only possible shape. In my opinion, this is a huge mistake, the result of lack of imagination. The popularity of opinions describing the spherical shape of black holes frees me from presenting the achievement of other scientists on this field of knowledge. No one before me rejected the spherical shape of black holes, so I'm perhaps maybe the first person ever questioning the shape of black holes similar to the shape of stars and gas planets, the spherical shape. There are some pictures showing the real shape of black holes, I mean major black holes which possess the accretion disk. I have already mentioned that black holes, according to my knowledge, have the shape of a sphere at the very beginning of their existence for a relatively short period of time, which could be counted in minutes, hours, maybe days, but relatively very short. My theses are completely new and revolutionary. Never before in any iconography or literature describing black holes we could find a reference or even a trace of any suggestion for another shape assigned to this extremely interesting objects that just a regular black sphere. The shape similar to this shape of spinning top was never mentioned before. The same with true conditions of the thermonuclear fusion, for example, and the other theses proposed here by me. I'm the first person to propose them. The object called black hole rotates around its axis of rotation. The fact that the mass of the black hole will be constantly increasing on the equator Because the accretion disk was formed at this specific point and mass of the matter must flow directly to this area of the black hole, will cause the matter on the equator to constant growth. If the immortal observer would stay somewhere on the equator of the spherical black hole, the observer would see huge mass of the matter consisting of one basic element and stream of photons radiation all coming toward him from the horizon of the equator as a kind of a haze rain with incredible speed. The position depends on configuration and place where the observer stays. It could be perceived as a kind of fast, heavy rain coming from the above. Very soon, this stream would form gigantic mountains on the equator. Imagine now that this belt of mountains is so high that the base of these mountains reaches both poles of the spherical black hole. What happens next? Black hole rotates very fast, and this shape, similar to the shape of a spinning top, would be formed in the result of all these factors. This is the true shape of the major black holes possessing the accretion disk. The mountains, I call it the equator ring, are elevated to thousands of kilometers high. They are very heavy, so they push and strive the base to approach the center of the gravity, which is located close to the axis of rotation of the black hole. The base would have to expand wider and wider, and finally it reaches both poles. Poles will be constantly elevated horizontally as long as the matter will fit the black hole. So immortal observer would see high mountains similar to wall on one side and long pole which would look like a long peak or as a tower thousands kilometers high long on the other side. The orientation of both poles depends of the orientation of the observer. This is how the accretion disk presence and massive forces of gravity affect the shape of the black hole. When all the matter from the accretion disk would be consumed, the black hole shape probably would gradually take the form of a rotating spindle with symmetrical shape of the upper and lower part of it. The poles will be pushed aside far away from the equator by the mass constantly attracted by the center of the gravity, which is close to the axis of the black hole in the center of the equator. We have to remember that black hole rotates really very fast in the result of the rapid rotation of the black hole and the specific characteristic of the matter forming the black hole. Any cars and or filing of fragments of the elemental particles of the matter pushed up towards its poles will tend to return to the center of the gravitational system, means toward axis, and will be absorbed there. With the help of these forces, including the enormous rotational speed of the object, as well as due to the escape of a huge amount of energy in form of stream or photons and radiation directed from the equator to the poles, the surface of the black hole must be smooth out of any unevenness. This process creates a shape resembling to a spindle rotating with the enormous speed with relatively very sharp ends of axis of rotation, poles, and relatively sharp compared to the size of the black hole edge of the equator ring as well. The shape of the spinning top differs depending of the age and size of the black hole. The idle-like poles could be closer or farther from the gravitational center of the object, means closer to the equator ring or farther to it, but the basic shape of the black hole's body, similar to the shape of a spinning top, is present if only the black hole consumes the matter from the accretion disk. Black holes are objects created from the matter of incredible density, which has to be extremely durable, clinging to each other, and since that able to spin at enormous speed. This rotational movement is inherited from stars from which they were formed.